Good day, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to my home in Livingston, Montana. Okay, very seldom do I ever do two videos in one day, but I'm kind of bored today, and I already did a video earlier this morning, but that ain't got anything to do with what I'm doing now. For reference purposes, ladies and gentlemen, it's January 5th of 2019. What does that mean? Absolutely nothing. Okay. The subject of this video here is, I don't know exactly how I'm going to entitle this video, but it doesn't matter. But this is my advice on how to pick out the very best bass guitar for your needs. I'm going to give you tricks and tips, if you will, on what you want to be looking for. But it's really, you got to kind of wait to the end of the video the way I've got this structured in my mind. And by the way, this is totally unscripted. It's just off the cuff. But it's something that absolutely occurred to me. And it's the absolute truth. I'm going to pause here for a second. It's the absolute truth. Okay, here's how you go about buying your perfect bass. Or the bass of your dreams. You follow where I'm going with that? Because that's the meat of this whole, that's the purpose of this video. Okay, am I recommending this Epiphone Thunderbird? You know, this vintage Pro that I just acquired here. Am I, telling you that you need to go run out and buy this particular bass right here? No. As a matter of fact, I'm telling you more than likely not to do that. Okay, let's just pick a bass apart, a few of the parts, because I'll miss stuff, and I won't even care, because that's the way I roll. I don't try to make my videos perfect. None of them are perfect. Okay, let's just start at the headstock. Okay, what do you think that you need to be looking for in a headstock and a bass? Do you think you need open tuners? Do you think you need closed tuners? Do you think you need Schaller tuners? Do you think you need Glover tuners? And this list just goes on like that. You Fender tuners or whatever have you. Here it is. I'm going to give you the best suggestion of all. None of the above. Whatever tuners that you like. We'll get to that later. Okay, now here's one of my pet peeves when it comes to headstocks. Okay, take a look at that. You'll see this is a mighty big headstock on this Epiphone Thunderbird, and it has no string trees. I absolutely hate string trees. I don't care if it's a $10,000 Fender. I don't like string trees. They put excess wear right there on that string. They're a pain in the rear end. They wear out. And I used to have a Fender Precision bass years ago, and I had nothing but absolute trouble, hell, so to speak, with string trees. I won't buy a bass that's got string trees on it. Is that what you should do? No. What I want you to do is go out and buy all the basses you can with string trees on them. Okay. Now, when it comes to here's something right here. You see how this Epiphone has got a tilt back headstock? I'm an absolute believer in having a little bit of headstock angle back like this, because generally, if the fretboard and everything is lined up with the headstock, you won't need that miserable string trees, okay? All right. I'll just move along from there. Okay, now on this neck right here, what am I going to tell you about a neck? Should you have a baseball neck? Should you have a flatter neck? Should you have a thinner neck this way? Should you have a maple neck, a walnut neck, a white limba neck, a quarter sawn maple neck? What's my recommendation to you? Here it is. None of the above. None of the above. Okay, when it comes to the finger, the fretboard here. This so happens to have a very beefy rosewood fretboard on it. This guy right here, if you can see that. And what am I recommending for a fretboard? Ebony, maple, rosewood, you know, all these different woods that they got out there. Guess what? I'm not recommending jack, and you know what? Okay. How about fancy inlays and mother of pearls and dots and snakes and stuff crawling all over your fretboard? What am I recommending for that? Here it is. Absolutely nothing. How about the set on a neck back here? Am I recommending a bolt-on? Am I recommending a neck through? Am I recommending a glued neck? Guess what? I'm actually specifically, keying on that word specifically, not recommending any of the above. Okay, let's get on here to this body shape. Granted, this Thunderbird right here, which has been around since 1963, by the way, it's got a pretty funny body shape. So, what am I recommending for a body shape? Guess what? That's all left up to you. Whatever you find interesting, whatever you think looks good, whatever have you. However, if I'm permitted to speak freely, which I'm going to speak freely, trust me, there is a whole crap load of, man, I want to swear, ridiculous looking bases out there. You got devil horns coming out of them and bodies man, I've seen bases before that I wouldn't even make firewood out of, you know. They're just ridiculous looking things, you know. So, but, you know, beauty is in the eye of the beholder, so whatever body style, you know, suits you, all well and good. Okay, now we come to this business of pickups right here. What am I recommending that you get for pickups? Let me tell you what, let's just go through the list first. You know, you've got single coil pickups that come in bases. You've got precision pickups like what Fender's got. You've got jazz pickups. You've got humbuckers. That's what I prefer. And so am I telling you to go run right out and buy a bass, you know, that's chuck plumb full of humbuckers? No, because humbuckers is something that I like. Doesn't mean you like it. You know, as a matter of fact, I've got my basses where I only own 2 basses because, actually I got 3, but one of them's going up for sale on Reverb. But I have just 2 4-string basses right now. One is a Reverend Thundergun, which I like a lot, old school, you know, and then this guy right here is Epiphone Thunderbird Vintage Pro, which is definitely old school. You know, why old school? Because I'm old. It's just that simple. Okay, so anyway, getting down to this whole thing of pickups right here, you know, you're going to really have to make up your mind, you know, because only you, ladies and gentlemen, have in your head what kind of a tone that you want out of your instrument, and you're going to have to go from there, because there's a marked difference between some of these pickups, believe you me. You know, there really is, you know. So, and then bridges. Now, there's a lot of basses out here that have this bridge and that bridge and promise you everything under the sun. This is an old-fashioned tune-o-matic right here, because this is a 1963 replica of a Gibson Thunderbird. So it's got a tune-o-matic with a claw bridge down there. In other words, these strings actually make contact in 2 different places as it goes over the bridge area of this rig right here. And another thing too, when it comes to these pickups, you know, what are you digging? Are you digging active pickups or are you digging passive pickups? Me, and this isn't advice because I can't tell you what to do. Me, I do not like active pickups. There's too many problems with active electronics and active pickups. You can trust me on this. But so don't pay any attention to what I'm saying. Basically, is what because we'll get to all the where I'm going at the end of this video. I like passive pickups. My Reverend Thundergun has passive pickups in it, and so does this guy right here. This Epiphone Thunderbird. Okay? And also when it comes to the electronics, I absolutely want simple electronics. This guy right here has just simply got a simple tone for the whole output of the bass. This right here, it turns up, this gold top knob right here turns up this bridge pickup, if you will. And this guy right here, if you can see this, the top hat knob, the top gold knob, turns up and down this neck pickup. So there you go. Me, I do not like basses that's got a ton of switches and all that. I don't need any of that in my business. Why? Because I'm simple. I like to keep my instruments simple because I want to play. And some of you might want to pay attention to what I'm going to say here. I want to be able to play the instrument. I don't want the instrument playing itself for me, like some of the garbage I've seen on the market. Yeah, I've heard about Gibson and their auto tuners, and I heard that PV was putting software and a bunch of mixing equalizers and a bunch of stuff in their basses and all that. Nonsense. In my humble opinion, you may just love the crap out of it. And I don't know what else. And paint jobs. Do you think it's all that important to have a really fancy paint job and all this other stuff? I can almost assure you it's not, in my humble opinion. So, okay, I've said enough. I went through necks. Oh yeah, I might want to say one thing. 4-string versus 5-string versus 6-string versus 7-string. I'm just telling you right flat out, and this is one thing I'll be kind of firm on. You're best to start off with a 4-string because I messed around with 5 strings in my day and got a little bit over my head, okay? That's just me. So if you're a young fella or somebody that's just starting out in this world of basses, just save yourself a whole lot of trouble. You're not going to become a better bass player by using a 5-string over a 4-string. Just get a 4-string. Besides that, they're generally cheaper. So here is my punchline. Ladies and gentlemen, here is what I've got to say about all of this I just got done spewing out to you. The very best bass that you can own, the very best buy that you can make, and all that is the bass that you find in your hands a lot. Did you catch me? The bass that you find that you are practicing with a lot. The bass that you say you're going down to your local music store and you just can't keep your hands off of a certain bass or something. That's probably the one you should buy. Because none of these basses, I don't care if they're 5-string, 4-string, fancy paint jobs, precision bass, jazz basses, and all this other stuff, it doesn't make any difference to me what the hell they are if you don't practice with them, if you don't play them. Do you understand? The bass that's played the most, that's practiced with the most, that's used the most, that's cradled the most, that's in your hands, that you're occupying time with, that you're really studying the science of bass guitars, the one that you're using, and all that kind of stuff. That is the bass, ladies and gentlemen, that you should own. And that right there is the most logical advice that I could possibly ever give you. Over name brands, body shapes, what kind of pickups, what kind of necks, paint jobs, headstocks, all that stuff. Follow me? The bass that you have in your hands, the bass that you practice with the most, the bass that you're attracted to the most, the bass that you appreciate the most. You know where I'm going with this. That's the bass that you should own. I don't care if it's a $200 copy of a $10,000 Fender P bass, or if it's a $7,000 Fedora, or $5,000 Warwick, or I don't care what it is, or this $700 Epiphone right here. You know, the bass that you live with, that you practice with, that like that. Be happy and just do it. That's your best bet. That's your best bass. Simple as that. Okay. I hope you learned something, ladies and gentlemen. And like I'm always famous for saying, take care of yourselves. And we shall hope you learned some, and we shall see you on down the trail.